Good morning. Hello all, and thanks for joining us for the next in our series of webinars introducing Panorama effectively to new users. These are going to be sessions that will appeal to advisors and their staff who might have recently had clients migrating across from BT Wrap and into Panorama. My name is David Giltrap. I'm part of BT's training and capability team, and again, it's a pleasure to present this session for you today. So these sessions are going to run over the next couple of weeks, and we will have content constantly changing, and content very much being driven by the type of regular questions coming into our customer relations team, so your advisor call centre, our BDMs around the country as well, and also with a focus on things that are different in Panorama as compared to how you would have done things on Wrap before. And really the aim of these sessions is to equip you with answers to these regular questions, understand Panorama as well as you can early on, and importantly, providing you with all the help and support tools that are available for you to enable you to successfully move on to a new platform, which is Panorama. We do have half an hour for the session scheduled in for today. That includes time for questions, and the sessions will be recorded so you can rewatch them at a later time if that suits. So let's have a quick look now at what we're going to cover today. So firstly, we're going to quite quickly recap the smart ways that you can fast track your way to Panorama help and support before getting into a few of the pieces of functionality with Panorama, again, that are different as compared to Wrap. And those being, we're going to look at today cash management. And by this, I mean, so sell down methods when the cash balance in your client accounts gets too low, but also we're going to consider the cash investment strategy, or effectively a cash sweep into underlying managed investments. So this is functionality that you did not have on Wrap, and certainly well worth understanding this quite well as you move across to your new Panorama operating system. We're also going to have a look at related groups functionality with Panorama, again, different to Wrap, that allows you to group up to 8 related accounts for the purposes of both reporting and also potentially reducing asset-based administration fees. And then we're going to finish with question time. So this is the time for you to ask any questions that you have about Panorama, and really any questions you have, not just about the content that we've got today here. So please type these into your Q&A section in your WebEx toolbar during the session, and we'll attempt to answer these for you at the end. If we're unable to answer any of them or can't get to them, we can certainly get the answers to any questions and respond to you following the session. And please, any questions you have at all, now is the perfect time for you to ask those. So very quickly to the different ways that you can help in fast tracking your way to Panorama help and support. Let's have a look at those. So we're going to have a look again at the BT Academy training site, and then we'll have a look at each of the spots on your Panorama site where you can locate the tour, Blue and Guide Me, help and support, and also the feedback option. So these are important. But if you are new to Panorama, and you must save this URL as a favorite, definitely, that you can see down the bottom of your page here, BT Panorama Training. This will give you access to the BT Academy Panorama Advisor Training Portal, as well as recorded webinars. We'll come back to those in a moment. Now, to register for the site or to later log on to the portal, again, use these links. Hopefully you're already registered and you know what this looks like. But if you haven't, and I know we've got some new users here on yesterday's session, if you haven't registered, once you do, you gain access to what is a full library of what are professionally produced video courses, and you can see some of them here. Importantly, the very first courses might be very relevant to you. This is a series of videos looking at how you did it on Wrap, and then compares that to your new experience on Panorama before diving into the full Panorama courses that you can see here. Clicking into one of the courses, let's take monitoring and reporting. It will open up bite-sized videos, and here you can see the the underlying modules that are in here. The portal does make it easy for you to track where you're up to with each course, and you get a completion certificate at the end. But this site will definitely be the best way for you to quickly become familiar with Panorama. And if you're not already registered, I would suggest registering very soon to assist with integrating it into your business. And then if we just quickly jump back to the BT Panorama training webpage, hanging off the bt.com.au site, you'll also see in here, if you scroll down, our recorded webinars. So here is where you can access these. These are full 45 to 50-minute webinars that we've run on each of these topics. You can see covering initial navigation and then right through all of the full range of functionality available on the platform. And then to your Panorama Advisor site, what tools do you have to assist? Well, firstly, there's the Take the Tour option here. This gives you a guided tour of the Panorama Advisor site. Great for first-time users to familiarise yourself with it. Blue is Panorama's automated chatbot and also includes click to chat with a live person in our CR team, as well as the guide me or show me functionality that it could refer you to as well. Help and support, the little question mark up the top, opens up a new window and a wealth of information on how to do all of the processes on Panorama, as well as the forms library you'll find in there as well for things that are not done in an automated fashion, of which many are on Panorama, but this is where you'll find the forms, and they're very easily categorized and sorted for you there. And the feedback option allows you to let us know what you think, effectively helping you shape the future development of Panorama enhancements. Our development team certainly does watch that. And you'll also notice the blue question marks just about over every page within Panorama. Simply hover over these, or you can click into them for guiding point-in-time information that you can refer to. Really does help you throughout the site. Now, look, I've only skimmed over each of these today, but please, if you didn't watch yesterday's webinar, a recorded version of that dives into each of these pieces of help and support, all of these, the tour, blue, help and support, in much more detail than I've covered today. So I'll refer you to those. So let's have a look at some of the functionality on Panorama that is likely different to what you've experienced on RAP. And firstly, let's have a look at cash management. So you'll find the cash management tools down the left navigation bar of a client account. So within here, you can manage the client's drawdown strategy, as you can see here, and also the cash investment strategy. Now let's overview these in turn. If we click on the action icon for the drawdown strategy, you can see the option to view and edit the strategy. So let's select that option right now. And you effectively have the choice of 3 options here. So, and this is instructing what assets will be automatically sold down to maintain the minimum transaction account balance for your client's Panorama account. Now, your options are, firstly, the default sell down strategy for all Panorama accounts will be the highest value asset strategy. Now, this is where sell downs to top up the transaction account will sell down from basically asset values highest to lowest value. The order in which that would be applied in terms of asset types will be firstly looking at managed funds, then managed or tailored portfolios, and then finally to listed securities. So that's your default option, being the highest asset value. The second option that you have there that you can see in the drop down is pro rata to total holdings. And this strategy will distribute the sale of assets proportionally based on their current value. And again, the order in which this would be applied would be same as the first one. So firstly to managed funds, then to managed or tailored portfolios, and then finally to listed securities. Now, the third option that you have is individual asset priority that you can see there. And here you can choose selected assets and apply a priority number to each, 1, 2, 3, etc. And the sale of assets would start with the highest priority down to the lowest priority. Then further, if there are insufficient assets in the priority list that you've created to meet the drawdown amount, the next highest value asset will be sold, and so on. You will find that this functionality is very, very intuitive to use, but I have given you an overview of it today. Panorama's help and support section, which I outlined before, the entry point into that, the question mark details each of these options very well in more detail if you need to understand further. And I referred to the BT Academy Panorama training portal. You can view the functionality in full in module 1 of the transactions and investments course in the BT Academy training portal. So you'll find further detail there on the drawdown strategy. So that's the drawdown strategy. Let's consider now the cash investment strategy that you can instruct, allows you to instruct for a client account a regular sweep of the client's cash account, subject to the parameters that you enter, into underlying managed investments that are held by the client. So you can see that this particular one here is not enabled yet for the client, but if we click on the action icon, we can select view and edit strategy, and let's do that right now. So this screen will appear for you, and it is, again, very intuitive functionality, and I'm going to overview it for you today. So across the top, you can see the client's portfolio value, the total cash balance in the transaction account, and also the total available cash. Now, the parameters for the strategy are what you'll select, and they're below. So first is the maximum cash target, and this is basically the trigger point for the strategy to buy selected investments. So this will be the minimum balance over and above this that you would want to do this cash sweep for. The maximum cash target, you can see there, can be a dollar amount, a percentage of the portfolio valuation, or it can be whatever the default product minimum is as well. So there's 3 options there. Next, you can see is the amount to invest. And firstly, the minimum amount to invest being either the Panorama default minimum amount to invest will be just $100, or you may prefer a higher dollar amount, which you can also select as well. You can also, you might like to control a maximum amount to invest, and you can choose here either a dollar amount or leave it as the default, or no maximum amount at all. So you've got the choices there. You'll then select the investment start date. So when is the cash investment strategy going to run or first run? It can be just a one-off investment. So you can just do a one-off cash sweep from the cash balance, or if you want it to be a regular cash sweep, you can toggle on that repeat cash investment button. So you can then set up how often it will repeat. So your choices there are fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, or half yearly. And then you can also tailor an end date. So you can have a specific end date in mind, you can have no end date, or you can run it for a set number of repeats. So these are the choices that you have. And then further down, you'll select from the underlying managed investments for the strategy to invest to, and those being either managed funds or managed or tailored portfolios that the client is currently holding. And like I said from the outset, this functionality is very intuitive to use. And if you're new to Panorama, this will be over and above the experience that you would have had in RAP. So there wasn't this effective cash sweep functionality. So very worthwhile you understanding how it works. As with the drawdown strategy, very, very well covered in Panorama's help and support, but even more so, much more detailed guidance on the cash investment strategy and how it interacts with other Panorama functionality within Module 7 of the Transactions and Investments Panorama training portal. So hopefully you're already gathering that this training portal is a must-have in your business to truly understand how to get the best out of Panorama going forward. So hopefully you're already registered for that site. Let's have a look now at related groups. So let's look at these, which, and I mentioned earlier, these allow you to group related accounts for the purposes of reporting and potentially to reduce asset-based administration fees as well. And now related groups functionality in reporting is found in the clients and accounts section within your Panorama Advisor site, and you'd select from the left navigation menu and then the tab that you can see here, related groups, that I've just circled in red. Now, accounts may be grouped with other accounts for the purposes of reducing fees and reporting, or just reporting alone. So you've got that choice to select how you're going to group the client accounts. The action icon beside this side of each group allows you to view or edit details in the group, and also you can create a new related group from selecting the option here. If you click on that option, this will expand out something like this, and you'll select firstly a name for the group, whether it will be for fees and reporting or for just reporting alone, and then search for and add the accounts that you would like to group. Selecting the relevant relationship for that account as well, and you can add further accounts as required to a maximum of 8. So you can group up to 8 accounts, and then you'd select done when complete to save the related group. Going forward, you of course need to manage that group if you need to add further accounts up to the maximum 8, or even remove accounts and update as appropriate over time. Now again, help and support will be a great resource for you for understanding Panorama's related groups functionality. Again, this is over and above and different to what you would have had in BT Wrap, but here you can understand how the pricing works, see worked examples of how it can reduce asset-based administration fees, as well as how to group or create related groups, and also amend those groups as required over time. And we also have this very well covered in its own module, Module 7 of the Monitoring and Reporting BT Academy Advisor Training Portal. So a short video there for you to understand exactly everything you need to know about the functionality. All right, so that's what I was wanting to cover. We've got plenty of time for questions. I'm happy to take any questions here. There was a question that came through on what functionality or questions we're covering in later sections. Definitely, I know tomorrow we're looking at Panorama Super account transfers, so account-to-account transfers, change of phase from super to from accumulation to pension phase, and also pension resets. So we'll be looking through that functionality, how it relates to your migrated clients from Super App as well. So that's some of the information that we'll be covering in tomorrow's. But happy to take any further questions into the Q&A if there's any with the remaining time that we have. I'll continue to look at that, but maybe just have a look at the next steps, I guess. Yeah, so and the next steps will be to continue to speak to BT. Keep a lookout for the webinars that we've got running. Please do register for the BT Panorama training portal if you haven't already. All of the help that you need there and more is provided. And also make sure you utilise Blue, Guide Me, and the help and support tools that you have there, in addition to the Panorama Advisor Contact Centre or the customer relations team that are there to support you. We haven't had any questions come through, which means you must be all on top of everything, which is fantastic and great to see. Thank you very much for your attendance today. Like I said, we'll be running these sessions at 11:30 and 2 tomorrow, and then next week as well. So we encourage you to come back for those if you would like, and we'll be covering different information in each session. All right. Thanks very much for your attendance today, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon. Thanks all. Bye.